Hi! So this week on Yogiescape tutorials, I'm going to be talking about the gap theory. The gap theory shows why goals work and how we can use goals to get to our desired self. The first part of the gap theory talks about the current self. So the current self is pretty easy to explain. It's who you are right now in this moment. Some people may think that the current self has to do with who you are in general, but it's actually where you are in this exact moment. So learning about where you are in this exact moment is a good practice of mindfulness, and mindfulness truly helps us with our goals. The gap theory also states that we have an ideal, desired, or visualized self. So the ideal self is somebody who you desire to be. This is like a dream self. It's somebody who you really want to be in the future. So for example, we have a current self, and that current self may be somebody who practices yoga, but our ideal self may be somebody who is a yoga teacher. So our goal to get from where we are to where we want to be would be to take our yoga teacher training. And when we take that yoga teacher training, we'd be bridging the gap between where we are and where we want to be. And at the end of that, our ideal self would be our current self. And from then, we would create a new ideal or desired self. So this ideal self will keep on changing. As we reach our goals, we get closer to our ideal self. And as we get closer to that ideal self, the ideal self, our dreams, will keep on changing and growing. So as I said, goals are one way to bridge this gap, but there are also other ways. For example, somebody who spends so much of their time cleaning their place and not enough on their business may bridge the gap by hiring somebody to help them do it. Paying somebody to help you bridge this gap is the fastest way to get yourself on track to your ideal self. A lot of the times, coaches will help you get there. They will ask you questions that bring out what you need to know about reaching your ideal self. They will also help you in your current self by helping you shape your mindset. For example, we may think that we're stuck in our current selves and that we're always going to be this self. But the one thing you have to know is that your current self is always changing. So you could regress in your goals or move forward, and it's all part of the process of bridging the gap to where you want to be. So now that you know a little bit more about the gap theory, this is the time where you can really put into action your goals. This is where you start to learn about your current and ideal selves. So as a journal exercise, you can start journaling about your current self. Answer questions like, who am I? What do I feel today? What do I feel in this moment? Or what do I need in this moment? This can be helpful to become mindful of where you are and who you are in this current moment. You can also journal about your ideal self. You can do this by asking yourself questions like, who do I want to be? What are my dreams? What are my hopes? Ask yourself where you want to be 5 years from now. Ask yourself where you want to be 10 years from now. Alternatively, if you're really lost and confused and don't really know where you want to be, you can start by thinking about somebody you really admire. Think about this person you really admire. What qualities do they hold that you like? What do they value? Do you want to be like this person? Do you like their lifestyle? Keep asking yourself questions until you get to the root of who you want to be in the future. The one thing you have to realize about reaching your goals is that no one really does this on their own. People pay coaches, people pay services, people do all kinds of things to get them from where they are to where they want to be. For example, 1 year ago I hurt my hand and I actually got some inflammation in my knuckle. So this inflammation was really bothering me, and I was modifying my yoga practice to the point where I wasn't even using my hands. I was just on my forearms or not even practicing anything on there because I was just in too much pain. So one of my goals was to get back to a yoga practice that was pain-free. For this, I had to use some unconventional methods to get there because I always thought that seeing a physiotherapist and getting physical hands-on help would help a lot. It turns out that inflammation is actually what's really going on in your immune system. So my immune system really needed some help. So what I did was I started taking these fruit and vegetable capsules that were very ripely picked fruits, so they had the full nutrients and I was getting everything I needed from them. So what happened was those helped me from the inside out. So what I'm trying to say here is that I knew that I couldn't do it on my own. My body was not reacting well to the exercises that I was doing, so I needed a bit of outside help. This was one way that I started to reach my goals again. So as of January 1st, I've been practicing yoga every single day. It also took a bit of a mindset shift for me. So I used to think that yoga meant getting on your mat and moving, and that's really not everything that yoga is, right? So yoga is also a lot of mental work or spiritual work or even just simple practices like not eating meat. These are all ways in which we can practice yoga. So this mindset shift really helped me get back to my mat and get back to a place where I wasn't feeling guilty about my goals. It helped me bridge the gap between where I was and where I wanted to be. So that's all for this week on the gap theory. In the next weeks, I'll be sharing one tip a week that will help you with setting your goals. The tips I'll be sharing will be part of my SMARTY goal setting method. The SMART part of the acronym helps you build great goals, and the E and the Y, excuses, and your mindset help you remove the crap from your life so that you can get to where you want to be. So each week I'll be sharing one section of the SMARTY goal setting method. Tune in next Thursday to hear more about SMARTY goal setting. If you want all the tips right now, you can check out my new ebook called Goal Setting 101. I'll put a link to my Etsy shop in the caption below. Leave me a comment telling me the goal that you are working on and what you're doing to reach that goal. If you found this video helpful, I'd be really grateful if you liked this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching Yogiescape tutorials. See you next Thursday.